Branding Bangladesh program. Branding Bangladesh is a kind of show where we talk about many different issues about Bangladesh. Bangladesh is developing so quickly. Over the past few years, you have seen how radically Bangladesh is developing under the great leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. So today we are very happy, delighted, excited to interview His Excellency the Foreign Minister of Sri Lanka, Honorable Professor Peiris, Foreign Minister of Sri Lanka. Let me tell about his profile a little bit about. Honorable Professor Peiris was appointed as the Foreign Minister on the 16th August 2021. Honorable Minister Peiris counts nearly 3 decades in politics and governance and was a Member of Parliament since 1994. Preceded by a career in the higher education sector, he was born on 13th August 1946 and is married with 1 child. Now, let me back to His Excellency the Foreign Minister of Sri Lanka, Professor Peiris. Sir, could you tell us about your visit here in Bangladesh?
Well, I'm here principally to attend the 21st meeting of the Council of Ministers of the Indian Ocean Rim Association. And Sri Lanka is taking over as Vice Chair for 2 years. We regard that as an important organization, highly relevant in the present time, because of the emphasis that is being placed by all the member states on ocean resources, the conservation of the environment, climate change and global warming, some of the security dimensions. For a variety of reasons, the IORA is important, and Sri Lanka is to play a leadership role in that organization, together with Bangladesh, with the UAE, with South Africa. We've had dialogue partners joining us last year, including Russia. So that is the main reason for the visit, but I've had some very good meetings on the sidelines of it. Yesterday I met the Foreign Minister of Bangladesh to discuss our collaboration in the future. I thanked him for all the support that he has extended to our country over the years.
Yes.
Bangladesh and Sri Lanka have collaborated very fruitfully in all international fora. We admire, as you said, the phenomenal development of the economy of Bangladesh over the last few years, reaching now a threshold of between 5 and 7%. And this morning I had an equally productive meeting with the Minister for Shipping. We are interested in developing both ports in Sri Lanka, Colombo and Hambantota, as transshipment hubs.
Great.
Chittagong and our ports have a great deal in terms of synergies and complementarities. So it will be a win-win situation if we develop feeder services, coastal shipping. That was very much a focus of my visit to your country. And tomorrow I will be meeting Her Excellency the Prime Minister just before, Sheikh Hasina, just before the IORA meeting.
It's great.
There was also a very good meeting with the Secretary General of BIMSTEC.
Oh, that's great, yes.
BIMSTEC, Sri Lanka is currently the chair, and we are planning either a virtual or preferably a physical meeting in our country in the early months of next year.
That's great.
So all in all, it's been a very active visit.
Excellency, that's excellent, beautiful. And Excellency, you know that we are completing 50 years of anniversary of Bangladesh as well. Sri Lanka is also completing their 50 years. So if you could tell us about diplomatic relationship between these two particular countries, Cyprus state.
Yes, we are celebrating the 50th anniversary of diplomatic relations between the two countries next year in 2022. And this year, 2021, our Prime Minister, the Honorable Mahinda Rajapaksa, paid a visit here. I accompanied him.
Right.
that was for an event which really served a dual purpose. That is the 100th birth anniversary of Bangabandhu Mujibur Rahman,
Sheikh Mujibur Rahman.
and the 50th anniversary of Bangladeshi independence.
Correct.
We were here a few months ago. It was an exceedingly pleasant and productive visit. Our Prime Minister has very warm memories of that visit. We had very good meetings with Her Excellency Sheikh Hasina, the Prime Minister.
Correct.
We are hoping to invite her to visit Sri Lanka to attend the BIMSTEC summit next year.
That's great.
Yes.
That's great. Excellency, we know that trade and investment is a huge issue for any country.
Yes.
So Sri Lanka and Bangladesh, as you know, these were charter states. So how can you improve the trade and investment cooperation between these two countries in particular?
Sri Lankan entrepreneurs are very happy to do business in your country.
True.
They feel very much at home. They're doing exceedingly well. We have as many as 110 Sri Lankan companies that are very vigorous in the Bangladesh economy, and the total quantum of Sri Lankan investment into the Bangladesh economy is in the region of 2.5 billion
Yes.
US dollars. However, I think there is a considerable scope for improvement with regard to trade relations.
True.
Because the volume of trade between the two countries is at the level of only about 200 million US dollars, which is not really adequate.
Correct.
It lends itself to development in many ways. There are lots of things that we can do together. One is in education.
Education, yes.
Education, I think the secret of Bangladesh's success in the recent past has been education, the empowerment of women, and making a reality of the concept of digital Bangladesh.
True. It is.
There has been very considerable state investment in agriculture, and Prime Minister, the Honorable Sheikh Hasina, has succeeded in drawing vast masses of the Bangladeshi population into digital activity.
Correct.
Opening bank accounts, online contact.
Cashless society, yeah.
Yes, I was very proud as a South Asian to read of some of the statements that she made to the World Economic Forum in Davos.
Mm-hmm.
She said that Bangladesh has succeeded in exporting into South Korea 12 robots. 12 robots made here in Bangladesh.
Yes.
You are now supplying India, many African countries, even some countries in Latin America, Chile, with ships.
Correct.
So that is a very considerable achievement. Very few countries in this region or indeed elsewhere have been able to achieve 5 to 7% growth in their economy.
True.
So your government under the leadership of your Prime Minister has succeeded in doing that.
Correct.
And another cardinal element of the overall strategy has been sustained empowerment of women, giving them a leadership role, awakening.
True. It is, indeed.
Awakening them to their very considerable potential. So it has been a combination of all these factors: a resolute and inspiring leadership, a coherent strategy, the involvement of the most vulnerable segments of the Bangladeshi population. So there's much to learn from your experience.
Thank you.
Sri Lanka is also emphasizing technology.
It's very important, far more important.
Very important. And we cannot, of course, copy from another country. You always have to adapt the successful experience of another country to suit the combination of circumstances in one's own country.
True.
But we are certainly looking very closely at Bangladesh. Its success in elevating livelihoods,
True.
taking people out of poverty,
Absolutely.
and emerging really as an economic power in this region. I think there is much in their experience suitably adapted, which could be a model for other countries in the region, including Sri Lanka.
Thank you. Thank you. Professor Peiris, I was talking to the Sri Lankan High Commissioner a while before that tourism is a huge sector, and country like Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, we can promote a tourism exchange kind of thing. So if you could respond about this question in particular.
No, I think again there is a great deal of opportunity for it. Now that we have direct air connectivity between Dhaka and Colombo, I was instrumental in organizing the first inaugural direct flight from Colombo to Dhaka. And we had that direct connection for some years until a calamity took place in our own country, that is the LTT, the terrorist bombing of Colombo airport, which resulted in the destruction of almost one half of the Sri Lankan Airlines fleet.
True.
But now we have succeeded in reviving direct airline connectivity. And I understand that there is a private Bangladeshi airline, not Biman, a private Bangladeshi airline that is interested in operating services from Dhaka to Colombo. I don't think we should look upon each other as competitors, but rather as collaborators.
Absolutely, it is.
You have tremendous tourism potential. Cox's Bazar, which is the longest natural beach in the world.
True.
We have much to offer tourists in terms of diversity. We have our beaches, we have our ancient civilizations which go back more than 3,000 years.
We have Sundarban, you know.
Yeah, we have rainforests, we have the tea plantations.
Correct.
So there are many things that we can do together. I think
Absolutely.
if we offer a package combining the spectacular scenery of Sri Lanka, what you have to offer in Bangladesh, and if it is a package that is offered in the West, I think that's going to be attractive, particularly health tourism.
Yes,
there's now a lot of interest in European countries in the ancient systems of medicine, which flourished in our countries. Ayurveda. There are spas which are being opened in Western Europe, particularly in Germany.
Yes.
A lot of interest in that. There are people who come here to study religion, transcendental meditation. So all of these are ingredients of a very successful tourism policy.
Excellency, there is just one humble question, because Bangladesh is a country, you have 2/3 of the total population of young people.
Yeah.
You know, and youth development is a huge necessity, country like Bangladesh or Sri Lanka as well. So if you could respond, what much we can do for the young people of the country, you know, if you have any kind of special message for the young people of the country.
Yes, young people have aspirations, they have expectations. And I think the primary need in our countries is to structure an education system which provides adequately for livelihoods.
Absolutely.
You know, now you have achieved a great deal in that area. In Sri Lanka, we are undertaking a comprehensive overhaul of our education system to ensure that the content, the curricula, and also the methods of teaching are in line with the contemporary priorities. We must ensure that people who pass out of our universities and technical institutions have the kinds of aptitudes and qualities for which there is a demand commercially.
Correct.
Because our companies are telling us there are new job opportunities and they would like to employ graduates who conform to their requirements. Absolutely. So I would identify that as a priority, and also the emphasis that we need to place on vocational education. It is
so true.
Not only academic education, not only universities, important as they are, but in order to evolve a complete educational structure, we also have to provide opportunities for students who do not qualify for admission to universities, and that's a very large number.
True.
So in order to make a success of their lives, there must be parallel avenues that are available.
So true.
In vocational training. After all, in today's world, there are people who have made a success of their careers not having university degrees.
So true, so true.
They must not feel they are dropouts, they are not failures.
Yes,
They can make very vigorous contributions to society, and it is for governments in our region to make available to them the opportunities for the full flowering of their talents.
absolutely. Because we have experienced, Your Excellency, because every year, hundred thousands of graduates you are producing,
Yes,
but they are not up to the mark. And when they want to enter into the job market, they're not qualified enough.
exactly.
So they're jobless, and they're sometimes derailed. So I really appreciate your idea, because technical education or vocational education is far more important country like Bangladesh and of course Sri Lanka. So Your Excellency, my next question is, because I'll finish by this question, because Bangladesh is a country, and Sri Lanka, we have so many commonalities, like we look alike,
Yes,
or hardly people can differentiate who is
yes,
Sri Lanka and who is Bangladesh.
that's true.
So I believe what much we can do for the development of the entire, because SARC could not function because the way it could have been. So if you could tell us about it, about this SARC, uh, you know,
No, we believe that these regional institutions are very important because we have aspirations, we have a civilizational heritage. But each of our countries acting individually
true,
may not succeed fully in accomplishing our objectives. Our collective strength will be an asset in that regard. Sri Lanka is a member of SARC. It is also a member of BIMSTEC and of other organizations like ACD, the Asia Cooperation Dialogue. We are also active in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, right?
yeah,
So I think all these BIMSTEC, we are very active. So these organizations are, I think, instruments for
true,
pooling our collective strengths and resources. We different countries in the region have different strengths, but if you take them together cumulatively, it really adds up to something of great significance. We can be a force in the world. We can make our voice felt, not as individual countries, but collectively.
correct,
Having discussed our issues, having discovered our commonalities, and how we can collectively evolve pragmatic strategies on the ground,
true,
practical strategies to carry forward the plans that we have in each of these areas. I think these regional organizations have far more potential than we have been able to realize in the past. So that is why I think the 21st meeting of the Council of Ministers of IORA is happening at a particularly opportune moment. And it is well attended this time. We have representation from many of the countries that are members, and I'm sure that tomorrow we are meeting from 12 noon to 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and that provides us with a unique and an invaluable opportunity to discuss what we can do collectively in order to achieve our collective ambitions, as you said, primarily in the interest of the younger generation, because in all our countries we have a preponderance of young people who are reaching out for new vistas. And the leadership of all our countries has an inalienable obligation in that regard. And the meeting that is taking place tomorrow provides an admirable forum to achieve those objectives.
excellent. Excellent. We have come at the end of our conversation. Your Excellency, our last but not least, if you do have any kind of special message for the people of Bangladesh.
The people of Bangladesh, as you said, if one of us is brought blindfolded here and the blindfold is removed, many people will think that we are in Sri Lanka. Often there have been occasions when walking on the street, people have addressed me in Bengali, in your language, because it is difficult to distinguish between a Sri
True.
Lankan and a Bangladeshi.
True.
So in terms of appearance, in terms of customs, vegetation,
True.
all of that, there is so much in common, and there is therefore a natural affinity. And I think it is because of that natural affinity that our businessmen, our entrepreneurs feel so comfortable in our country. You take the Commercial Bank of Sri Lanka. It has been designated one of the most successful banks operating in Bangladesh last year. I'm not
Bank of
surprised.
Ceylon.
Yeah. Not the Bank of Ceylon, the commercial bank.
The commercial bank.
The commercial bank.
Oh,
Yeah. So we are very proud of that achievement.
Yeah.
And that is possible because of the congenial environment which they find in Bangladesh. So within that framework, I think the sky is the limit. And my meeting yesterday with the foreign minister emboldens me to hope that these will not remain dreams, but sooner than later they are capable of being translated into reality.
True. It is. Very true. So with this happy note, Excellency,
Yes.
I have to end this beautiful conversation with His Excellency, the Foreign Minister of Sri Lanka. We have talked to many other issues. We talked about culture, education, tourism. We talked about trade, investment,
Shipping.
and shipping.
Yeah.
So many other issues you talked. So, Excellency, thank you so much for
Thank you very
this
much.
wonderful conversation.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.